One of the linebacking prospects that's getting more buzz and getting more attention as we get closer to the 2017 NFL Draft is Tyus Bowser from Houston. And a quick look at the film gives you some indication as to why some people are really excited about his potential and his upside. Here's some of what I saw about him that I really liked on film. First, you look at his size, about 6'3", 247 pounds. He's got enough size. He still would seem to even have room to put on a little bit of weight, but he would have enough size to be able to play a 3-4 outside linebacker at the NFL level. He's got good quickness and initial burst. He's not the absolute most explosive in terms of edge rushers in this draft, not quite like a Tim Williams or a Trey Hendrickson or a Myles Garrett, somebody like that. But he's really not that far behind. He's an athletic dude, and you see that athleticism on film. Now, sometimes does it translate into football skill? That's a different story. But in terms of the actual athletic package, it's pretty good. His pass rush ability is solid. He could still use some improvement there. But in terms of how he was utilized at Houston, I think it did a decent job of preparing him for the NFL. And he's a little bit more advanced as a pass rusher than some of the other more highly thought of prospects in this draft class. Also, with that athleticism comes a solid ability in coverage. He's a guy that I could actually see long term being a guy that you could utilize not just as a pass rusher, but somebody that you would put out in zone coverages and man coverages. He's got that type of ability, and he plays really, really hard too. And we know when I talk about some of these prospects, there's some guys I really, really like because they play hard, and there's other guys that really don't because they don't. Tyus Bowser is one of those guys that to me was pretty consistent in terms of his effort level, his motor, his desire, playing snap to whistle. Now, here's some of what concerned me about him on film. Number one, he's not that good of a run defender. In fact, it's a pretty big weakness in his game. He's going to have to get better at setting the edge, keeping contained, and being able to get off of blockers. And some of that comes with getting bigger, some of that comes with getting stronger, some of that comes with improved technique. And the other thing, too, with Houston is, they kind of lined him up all over the place, which was good on the one hand in terms of preparation for the NFL level because it prepared him for playing outside, maybe sometimes in the middle, in zone coverage and man coverage. He lined up all over the place because he was such an athletic guy. So, on the one hand, again, it prepared him well for the NFL level. On the other hand, what it didn't allow him to do was hone in on that one particular area of his game, becoming a master or proficient in one area. So, when he gets to the NFL, he's going to have to catch up a little bit in terms of his abilities as a run defender. Like I mentioned before, he's not particularly good at shedding blocks. He's not terrible. Excuse me. Do I start over? Do I keep going? Fuck it, I keep going. But he needs to get better at utilizing his hands to get the blockers off of him. The other thing that was kind of questionable to me about him in terms of on film was he lacked great football awareness, great football smarts and instinct. He was kind of like average. Sometimes he was really in tune with what was going on, and frankly, there were other times where I watched him and I just didn't think he had a clue what he was doing, frankly. I mean, and part of that again can go into the fact that he was lining up all over the place. So again, he wasn't able to master in on one or two areas of the game. He had all types of responsibilities all over the place, and sometimes that could lead to some confusion. Sometimes that could lead to some misassignments. The other thing about him too is he's had some injuries. I think didn't he get in a fight with a teammate and broke his hand or some shit like that? But he missed several games in 2016. And when you're talking about taking a guy in round number one, especially as an edge rusher, and he has good but not great pass rush upside, you want a guy that you're pretty confident is going to be able to answer the bell consistently, and I just don't have that confidence in Tyus Bowser in his ability to be able to answer the bell because he wasn't able to do it consistently at Houston. In terms of my final grade for him, I've got an 82.0 on him, so a middle third round type of prospect. And it's funny as I go through the draft process and I go through these prospects, I either feel like some of these other people are absolutely crazy, or maybe this is just a year where I'm way, way off. Because a lot of these guys that the NFL media is pumping gas up this year, even more so than ever, I'm just not in lockstep with. I'm just not in agreement. And other guys, in some cases that they're kind of crapping on or dismissing, those are some of the guys that I'm highest on. I just don't get it. I think Tyus Bowser has some potential. I might actually like him a little bit better in a 4-3 as a sandbacker. Some teams may potentially look at him as a 3-4 inside linebacker, especially with the appeal of his abilities as a blitzer and in coverage. But do you really want to stick a guy like this inside where he's so behind the curve as a run defender? I think he ultimately needs to play outside, whether it's a 4-3 and a 3-4. And he's a guy that could make me look a little bad here. He's a guy with some upside. But a lot of times when you watched Tyus Bowser at Houston, he frankly left you wanting so much more. And I think that could be the type of player that he is. Frustrating in the sense that you see those glimmers and flashes, and then you have long stretches where you wonder if he's even in the game.